What's up everyone, welcome back, and today we are on a mission to go spearfishing and wreck diving off of Phillip Island. It's 5 a.m. and it's 4 degrees, but there's still motivation and it is a full moon, so back in the car, we're getting it. Yeah, I'll throw my stuff on. Sweet. You excited? I got just as the sun was rising. With Jake getting the boat ready, I parked his truck and trailer, and it took me about 10 minutes to get it within the lines. It took me about 10 minutes to park, but not bad for a first time.
Well, it's still light for about.
Yeah. After driving around for a bit, we came upon a couple birds, and we noticed that one of them was trying to fly away from the boat as the others did, but just couldn't. We soon saw that there was some fishing gear stuck to the bird, not letting it fly. I was keen to get in the water and do as much as we could, so I put on my thickest, wetty commercial gloves because I knew that my hands were going to take a beating. As you can see, I had to kind of use my hands to distract it, and then I went for the lunge and grabbed it as gently as I could around its neck and then let it bite me kind of in the hand. But with those really thick gloves, I could barely feel it, and I knew it wasn't doing any damage. Jake used his dive knife to cut away the lines and especially a sinker that was attached to it, and it was able to fly away as soon as we let it go, which was pretty awesome to see. So we anchored up near the George Kermode, but not on top of it, to not cause any damage with the anchor. And then we tied a weight to a float line to mark the spot because it is in about 16 to 20 meters of water, and it wasn't a super clear day, so we didn't want to have to re-find it every time. On one of the dives, I went down with a flashlight to really get a good look at the inside of the wreck, and I was really impressed with how much was left and what we were able to see. I also noticed a good amount of healthy sized sweep and decided to target some. After plugging the sweep, I came up, and as you can see, it was a pretty deep dive. I think it was 19.8 meters and about a minute and a half down there.
Was that the biggest one, or was there more? There's more. I picked mostly the closest one.
Went down again and was resting on this type of bow, and thought I would be able to just kind of take a snipe from afar, but as you can see, I was not locked on enough and I missed. This next dive is a full unedited dive. I've chucked up a dive timer on the right top just to get a sense of how long I'm down there for. On deeper drops like this, I try to get a few strong strokes in as soon as I duck dive so that I can free fall the rest of the way and conserve as much energy and oxygen as possible. As I drop lower and lower, I can start to see below the haze, and I line my sights up on a decent sized sweep. At 30 seconds, I've already taken the fish I've wanted, and so I could just go back up, but I want to make sure that the shaft isn't stuck. And then there's just so much to look at. This wreck is fascinating, and there's tons of fish, and so I want to make the most of my time down here. And I've been feeling really good today, not feeling rushed at all with my breath hold. And I just want to basically soak it all in. So I start slowly kicking up after about a minute with the fish on the end of the shaft pretty secured. C-sweep secured. Hand them off to a bell and go down for one more because I know that I have a couple friends that are keen to get their hands on some fresh fish. And so I'm just going to be here shopping for all of us. Soon after I get a spear into the sweep, a massive one comes to check it out. With that, we head off into a shallower spot looking for some flatties. And pretty soon enough, a bell shows me this mid-sized or smaller sized flathead. We both decide to let it be, but it's just so cool to see them camouflaged. And then hiding amongst the grass not far from the boat, I find a pretty large specimen, a nice flathead. You can see that head shake, and as soon as I see it, I dive for it to grab it with my hands because they can easily rip off. And this is a rock flathead, this particular species. We stop for a quick lunch and then decide to pack up. Well, you can't ask for much more. We had a sweet wreck dive. We rescued a bird, got fish, top day, and it glassed out. In the water at sunrise, out of it at sunset. It was a pretty epic day. Back at home, I fillet, crumb, and fry up the fish. And yeah, that's pretty much one of my favorite ways to enjoy flathead. Get some extra butter in there, and it turned out delicious.